Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay, here to talk about the movie Avatar, The Way of Water. Yeah, finally, uh, this film, the long awaited sequel to the 2009 movie Avatar, the highest grossing movie of all time in movie history, produced by my boy James Cameron. Uh, we talked about him in the 1980s decade in review about Terminator in the 1990s, decade in review about um, uh, Titanic, and we talked about him in the 2000s decade in review with this film. Has come back and he's collaborated with an old friend, Kate Winslet, who uh, she plays the daughter in this film, and also Sigourney Weaver, who was Dr. Grace in the original, also comes back as the adopted daughter of Jake Sully and Neytiri. So, a little bit of background with this. I didn't really like the first one. I felt the first one was kind of boring, kind of dragged on a bit. And I didn't actually see the first one when it came in theaters. So, when this one was coming out, you know, 13 years later, I'm like, why I ain't gonna see this one either because it's boring and it will drag on. But I think this one, in my opinion, had much more of a story and had much more of concrete to it. One of the things that pisses me, like I say, hey, one of the things that pisses me off, pissed me off about it was that the original was that it was a story that was told and retold over and over again, you know. But with this one, they kind of had a new spin to it because it wasn't just um, okay, colonizers come into the land, they try to overtake the land and they try to steal the resources. It was kind of that because the setting is that um, Earth is dying. So the guy Quintich, who was the villain in the first one, he's back. He's resurrected. They did some kind of uh, Rise of Skywalker type ish, like they did with Palpatine and trying and resurrecting him, and they kind of channeled Star Wars too. Yeah, Lisa says now I'll go this with her to see Little Mermaid. I will. They kind of channeled uh, Rise of Skywalker too. Yeah, definitely Lisa will go see Little Mermaid. Uh, in this, in a way, because the bad guy's son was raised by Jake Sully, the the bad guy who, you know, his son. He has a son named Spider. He is raised by Jake Sully and Sully's wife. So Jake Sully's character has two. Uh, he has four children actually, two adopted and two regular with his wife. You know what I mean? So he's raising a family. So this is kind of like him in a family setting. But of course, the villain is going to come back, and the villain is going to raise, uh, try to resurrect the relationship with his son, who Jake Sully has raised, and try to train the son as a human because the son couldn't become human because of the radioactive waves that were destroying the earth. So he was forced to become an avatar. And then after the father died, Jake and the wife raised him. So he's kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Gangs of New York, where he's raised by an enemy, he's raised by an adversary. But the question is, kind of like Ray too in Rise of Skywalker, where he has this lineage, he has this evil lineage, So will he give in to the evil lineage, and will he become what he was destined to be, so forth? I mean, so called, and give in to his lesser impulses and turn against the Avatar people and the water people who they now discover this new water civilization. And there's kind of this clash between the water civilization and the land Avatar civilization. And we get to really see the whole land water based world. It kind of like reminded me of those old National Geographic movies where we were in science where you go underneath the water and you know you see like the marine biology. It kind of takes you into that world. It kind of encapsulates you into that world. I think that's one of the things that was strong about the original Avatar. But and um, you know, it hits it on the nail with this one as well. But the only thing different with this one, it's a better storytelling. It's about family. It's about second chances. It's about making your own way, making your own destiny. So the problems that they had in the first one, where it was boring and it kind of dragged on, I felt it didn't have in this one. You know what I mean? It was more concise. It was more hitting it right on the nail. Uh, this one already has received nominations for Best Picture and has received several Golden Globes. So even before it came out, it was a huge. It was already a huge event. Um, and the character that stole the show, in my opinion, was Kate Winslet's character, who plays um, uh, one of the daughters in this of the water people civilization. You know, seen in the trailer her coming out of the water and her flickering her hair and stuff. You know, very interesting, compelling movie. I'm not going to give too much away, you guys, but I will say that the problems with the first one is not a problem with this one. It's a way better movie. It's a way better story um, than the original, and they really help to bring to light other sides of Pandora. See, that's what I always hated about some of the universes in the Disney constructed worlds, because they never bring to light, you know, anything good about these worlds. You never really see the whole picture of these worlds, you know. And there is a scene that corresponds to Hinduism. The Hindu themes in the Avatar story are very much present. First of all, they're blue, which in the Hindu religion, if you know anything about the Hindu religions, the Hindu gods, the Hindu, um, first of all, the word avatar is itself a Sanskrit word that means means a representation of a divine being. So, for example, the Hindu god Vishnu, the Hindu deva Vishnu, has 10 avatars, one of which is Krishna, the blue god, which the avatars are modeled on. So the color blue was chosen as a holy color in the Hindu religion. And in this, they have the drink, the Amrit, right? The Amrit, Sikhs would know, people that are devotees of the Sikh faith, that the Amrit is a drink that signifies their belonging to the Sikh Brotherhood of the Khalsa. Well, in Avatar, they have something like that too. They drink this particular drink, which again is analogous to the Hindu drink of Soma. That's in the Soma is in the Vedas, Hindu scriptures, and they obtain immortality. So the theme of immortality that is found in a lot of Hindu and Indian religions is definitely found in this. And that's what I got out of it. It's a much more spiritual connection than the first one. But I found the Hindu connections, like I said, to be uh, deep, deeply profound. Because again, blue, a Hindu holy color. The word avatar meaning representation in the Sanskrit language. The amulet I was like blown away by that. I'm like, wow, he's really digging deep. James Cameron is into a lot of these mythologies. So yeah, I found it was a better film in that way. You know what I mean? Because it was more spiritual, you know, much more visceral. But we got to see a lot of the customs of a lot of the Navi um, people, more than before. But they could have used a different villain. I mean, going back to the well with this villain, going back to the whole materialism versus spiritualism. I get it. That was one of the main themes of this whole series. But, you could have had a different type of villain. I thought maybe, they were going to show the one Navi tribe being a little bit more civilized versus another Navi tribe being a little bit less civilized. Maybe they could have showed them a different color, to signify the differences among them. Sort of like in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, where you had the Teokan civilization and the Wakanda civilization kind of clashed, where the Teokan civilization was much more sophisticated even than the Wakanda civilization. But no, you go back to the well with the same villain, and now the villain has a son, and the son is, going to turn against Jake Sully. So I take points away for that because you could add a little bit of originality when it came to the villains. You know what I mean? But all in all, I enjoyed this better than the original. You know what I mean? Because the original, first of all, when I went to see it the first time, I thought it was Avatar, the Last Airbender, right? I didn't know it was a different, the blue Avatar, and I didn't really grasp the. I knew about the significance of the blue color, blue being a holy color of gods like Krishna and Ram, Hindu gods, but I didn't really grasp that either, when I first saw that because spirituality, yeah, their connection to nature, but their spirituality or their religious ideology, they didn't really delve deep into that in the first one, but in the second one they do. So, yeah, it didn't earn it didn't earn more money than Black Panther. Wakanda Forever still is above it. This is the ninth highest grossing film, and it didn't have a bigger opening weekend than Wakanda Forever. Of course not, because the themes are almost exactly the same. You know what I mean? I think spacing it out a little bit more and putting it out maybe um, maybe a little further down the road would have made it a little better, in my opinion. Uh, anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell button to see my next videos coming out. Thank you, Lisa, for contributing. And yeah, we will be going to see The Little Mermaid when it does come out because that's a classic, part of the Disney Renaissance. This was part of Disney as well. Don't forget, guys, Disney purchased uh, 20th Century Fox in 2019, and now Avatar is part of the Disney family. So Disney is making a whole bunch of money this season, this Christmas season. And if I don't get to speak to any of you guys before the holiday season, first of all, to all my Jewish friends and Jewish subscribers, happy third night of Hanukkah. And to all of my Christian subscribers and everybody else celebrating Christmas. If I don't get to come on here the day of Christmas, which I probably will, um, have a Merry Christmas as well. Love you guys.